Hey guys, on this video we're going to be talking about topwater lures. Now, I haven't really done a whole lot of videos on talking about topwater lures. It's one of the funnest ways of catching fish. The explosions are crazy. Having redfish and snook wake up behind your bait, it gets the blood flowing. So, what topwater do I use? What brand, what style, what color, and what are some of the tips that I use with it? So, first off, no company makes a bad topwater. I've used plenty of different brands and I've always come back to the Mirrolure She-Pup. Now, the benefit to the She-Pup is that, well, first off, Mirrolure is based out of Largo. It's where I live, and it's pretty cool to have a company that's local making top quality baits. So I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I pick the Mirrolure She-Pup as my go-to topwater plug. Number 3, when you purchase this bait, you get quality hooks. All their hooks are VMC Perma-Steel hooks. Now on this one right now that I have right here doesn't have them. I switched them out a while back. But if you're buying a topwater, most of the topwaters you buy, you have to buy a separate thing of hooks, because most of the time you get a nice topwater, the hooks are crap on them anyways. So the benefit to the She-Pup and any Mirrolure hard plastics, you usually get a really nice hook. It's a VMC hook. They're great right out of the package. Now maybe down the road, if you want to swap them out, I usually go with the She-Pup. I go with a wide gap number 2 size hook, and I feel like that wide gap's great. I really do like that wide gap, and I go with the black nickel. Number 2, it's gonna be when you're fishing in choppy conditions. I feel like all the other topwaters, for some reason, they don't want to walk the dog very well when you have a little bit of chop on top of the water. They want to dive down, and you pretty much lose the whole purpose of throwing a topwater plug. The She-Pup, on the other hand, it goes over waves and chop a lot better, and it stays afloat, and it makes that rattle noise so those fish can find it very easily. So I think that's probably number 2, is one of the reasons why I like using this over everybody else. And number 1, which, I've used topwaters my whole life and I've always had this problem, is the weight of your topwater. Now, other brands, there's some that are a little bit heavier, some sit, up like this, right across the top, some sit kind of like that, and some even are like this in the water, on top of the water. I've noticed with this, I'm not missing as many fish with this topwater as I have with others. This She-Pup, when you cast it out, it's a fairly heavy bait. It's a thicker topwater. It sits with its rear end down a little bit. So when you're walking it, it might be on top, the whole top of the bait on top, but when you kind of slow it down and say a redfish, when a redfish hits your bait, when it wakes up on it, the mouth of that fish is on the bottom. So it has to come up over your bait. So if you have a fairly light topwater, he's gonna try to come over and it's just gonna push it away. So with this, with it kind of sitting down with the weight of this bait, he has a chance that when it comes up on top, you're gonna not miss that fish. You're gonna have a better hookup ratio, which I've noticed. I don't miss many fish. I don't have as many fish hitting this and blowing it out of the water like some of the other plastics I've used. So if you're wanting to try out a topwater that it catches pretty much anything, if you look at this one's torn to pieces. I mean, I've had this one for going at least a year. It's caught redfish, snook, trout, tarpon, pretty much anything you can think of that's gonna hit a topwater is gonna hit this, and the rattle on it is just ridiculous. But I think that number 1 would be just the way this sits on top. You're gonna hook up more fish with this bait than anything else. They don't push it away as easily. It's mainly gonna be your redfish, just the way that they hit their bait. And even snook sometimes, snook aren't always gonna come up and blast that bait. I've had them come up and wake and push, a 3 or 4 inch wake behind a bait and push it out of the way. This will stay in the strike zone longer and you'll hook up more fish. Now, another thing that people like doing, and I've always done it, I've always fished fluorocarbon. Now, fluorocarbon sinks, so if you're gonna do a fluorocarbon leader to your topwater, don't do a super long leader. Don't do a 3 or 4 foot leader. Do one that's about 1.5 to 2 feet, because if you do have that long leader, it's going to want to bring that bait down. It's not going to walk right. no matter what topwater it is. If you like fishing with monofilament, mono floats, so you can do a 1 or 2 foot section. That might raise your bait up and keep it on the surface a lot easier than the fluorocarbon. The fluorocarbon doesn't bother me, but some people say they don't really care for it, so use the mono if you want to keep it floating. 30-pound test. You can get away with using a little bit heavier leader with this because the fish aren't really going to see your leader. So if you're in an area that has snug, bump it up a little bit, go with a little bit heavier leader, and you won't lose as many fish. So make sure you check it out. Mirrolure She-Pup. This is the glow. They also make a bone. It has like that silver with that bone color. The glow seems to be my favorite. You know, any day, whether it be overcast or clear day, that bone works really well. I've used the chartreuse with black on a cloudy day, and I've caught some really nice fish on that. But I mean, if it ain't broke, I don't try to fix it. I mean, this always catches fish, and I have the confidence in this bait. So check it out, Mirrolure She-Pup. Make sure you guys comment down below in the comments. See what, let me know what kind of topwaters you like. If you have any questions, comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna try and do more videos on, not so much fishing videos right now, but tackle, hooks, baits, line, reels. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Mirrolure She-Pup. And don't forget, we carry these at Bet's Fishing Center. We have the biggest mirrolure selection in the area. So come on by and pick some up. Good luck, guys. Hope this helps.